Good afternoon. This is Scott Francis at the 4-H Center. And what I'd like to share with you today is some information regarding maps and compass skills. Usually when you are using a map, it's very, very simple to do. You have north, south, east, and west are the cardinal directions. North is at the top of the page, south is at the bottom, west is to the left, and east is to the right. Every map is going to have a scale which relates to the distance found on the map. Most of them are 1 inch is 1 mile unless we use some other types of maps that will be specified. It's the distance between two real points on the map. There's going to be symbols on there representing buildings, roads, bridges, rivers, railroad tracks, and etc. A lot of time there'll be different colors used to share more information. Usually blue is going to mean water, green is going to be denoting forested areas, and white is usually your bare land. The map is also going to have a legend which shows the symbols of what they stand for. The grid system on a map is latitude and longitude, and when you go through and keep this in mind as you're looking at maps, you can basically do anything that you need to when you're going through working on that. Moving on to the next map, here's a simple road map that shows you all of the information. Notice up there in the corner that the north is pointing to the top of your screen, and it just has the different highways that are there, both state and federal highways around the Seattle and Everett area. And that's a really easy example for you to look at where the intersections of the roads are and etc. The topo map on the right-hand page in the bottom is the topo representation of that baseball field that you see there on the top right photo. It shows the layout of the land. You can kind of see what it looks like in regards to the streets and the roads and those types of things, and those different representations on the contour map, which is on the bottom, will show you what the Google Maps photo will show you on the top right. Here is another example of what that looks like. A little bit closer, you can see the main road going through there, the baseball field, and etc. And there's a little hill right here. You can see that there's a hill that is denoted, and then when we move on to the next slide, that is that same hill right here. Here is that major road that goes down through by that baseball field and everything. And this shows you what the campus looks like on that topo map. All of the legend shows you everything down there from the amount of feet, what the distance in 1 mile is, and what the latitude and longitude readings are, both north and west longitude and north latitude. Latitude is the distance north or south of the equator. You can see in that illustration right there is it sharing that you will find the further from the equator that you go, which is 0, you'll either go to 90 north or to 90 south. Latitudes are also called your meridians, which are measuring east and west of Greenwich, England, which is the prime meridian. It's at the Royal Observatory, so everything east of that is going to have an east longitude, and everything west of that is going to be west longitude. And when you look on your map, you will be able to see that we will have latitude north or south of the equator, and then longitude will be east or west of the prime meridian. A lot of times what we do make it a little bit easier is that we know that there's 360 degrees in the circle, and when we go through and do that, we will take a degree and divide that down into minutes and seconds to give us more precise movements and distances. The top of maps that we have today are 7.5 minute maps, and they do that because of latitude and longitude to give us the best detail and to show us most of the information that we need on those maps. I'm going to allow you to read this here on your own time, but this is just some more information regarding latitude and longitudes. Look on your map that you would have, and anything that runs parallel on the page is a line of latitude, and anything that is a vertical line on that map is a line of longitude. 180 degrees, which is halfway around the Earth from the prime meridian, is the international date line. And that's where the dates change due to being 180 degrees from where the prime meridian is, or etc. Could be we're at about 111 degrees west longitude. We could go to 180 degrees. Opposite that, we would be on the opposite side of the Earth. Here's a very simple example of a contour map that shows you different things. As you're looking at, just always remember that contour lines V upstream. So when you see this right here, you'll notice that this stream is going to run right down through this general direction, kind of going from south to southwest. These will also show that that's a valley. Here's a mountaintop here, or a little ridge top. Here's another one. This is a saddle. And then over here, where you see these little hash marks, that is a depression. And then you'll have anything like this that is really steep like that. That's going to be a cliff. You can look there on number 8. It'll go off on that other side. And all those are denoted down there at the bottom of the page. Contour lines. Here's a great example just to show you a few more things. What we do know, here is some different colors, but here's your lines of longitude. Right there, this is a line of latitude. All of these different points this has the elevation marked on it. This is a contour line right here that is 10,400 feet. They're fairly close together, so that's going to tell us that that's a fairly steep area. The contour interval, which is from this dark brown line to this one right here, is 400 feet. So that tells me that that's a 400-foot contour interval between each of those lines. And this right here, as we can see, we're increasing in elevation, is going to be 11,500 feet. So we can see that. I guess I take that back. That's 11,600 feet. So we can go through and do that. And then depending on the map that we have, some of them might be 400 feet, some might be 800 feet. It just depends on what the actual contour interval for that map is. And that will be given to you in the legend of the map. Here's another one that you can see where that point X, you can figure out what that actual amount is. If you stay here on this line right here, this is about 10,800 feet. And then as you're trying to figure out what the best way to go from either point A, point B, or point C, you can figure out what would be the best way for you to travel without the least amount of strenuous work and hiking, etc. Notice again right here how those contour lines are being in this general direction. That tells me that the flow of that river is going in kind of to the northwest. Okay, townships and ranges. Township is set up that there are 36 square miles. Each is a square section is a square mile that can be divided into different sizes. But what it will tell us is it will tell us the township is 4T north, and then the range is going to be 4W or what have you. It will tell us exactly where that's located according to latitude and longitude on a map. Map scale, again, it's just like when you're building a model car. You have a 1 to 20,000 or a 1 to 24,000. That tells me that 1 inch on the map is 24,000 inches of ground distance. So normally what we use is 1 inch is 2,000 feet. And that's 7.5 minutes of latitude, which is normally going to be a piece of paper that's about 29 inches high and about 22 inches wide, and those are called quadrangles. Again, down here at the bottom, this shows me the scale. This is 1 to 250,000, and that just tells me what that's going to be, and I can measure that out and calculate what the actual distance is and go from there. Here's some that are a little bit larger to be able to show different types of distance. You can look at that and see that on your own time. Here's the next step again, is making sure that you understand what the compass is. Again, this is a very helpful instrument to find direction. I'll talk about GPS and those items here in a moment, but this is going to give us our scales on the side. This is called the base plate. Here's my indicator arrow on north arrow. These are going to be my declination marks. This orientation arrow is the one that I'm always going to need, and then this will move to magnetic north or south. And just remember that north, south, east, and west are the cardinal points, and we'll go from there. Okay. The one thing that happens here is when the compass works, it always points to the magnetic pole. And we are in the northern hemisphere, so it's going to point to the magnetic north, depending on where we are, and then we will adjust with that magnetic field to what actual true north is, and that allows us to be able to find our actual direction. Compass points, you can see north, north, northeast, northeast, east, northeast, and east. That's how we set that up. We take each quadrant and then cut that in half, and then we cut each of those in half to help giving us what they call their inner cardinal points on a map, so we can hear that we know a general direction of where we're going. When you use a map, always the top of the page should always be oriented to the north. You'll hold your compass steadily, and then somewhere between your face and your waist, and make sure it's away from your body so you don't have any metal or anything like that that might mess up that. And then your red arrow is what you need to get lined up, and that will point to north. Not even talking about declination, that is what we call 0 degrees. Okay. This compass right here, because of the red, is pointing north, though it's east. So what we have to do is adjust that and turn that so our north is that direction. And they always say that when you're looking at the compass, you always put red in the shed. So then that tells me that we're at 270 degrees, the way that thing is going. So we can work that out accordingly. As we're working on our map, we can figure out where we're going exactly. And again, a clock, you can think of it as 9 o'clock at night too, if you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Taking a bearing, obviously, is you're going to move your mark. You're going to use that until you get Fred in the shed, and then you will read that compass reading. And you can see right here, when you look at that, when you're looking in that general direction, this is the point that you're looking. You turn that until it's pointed to north. You're going to be going at approximately 250 degrees, which is going in a westerly direction. You're looking at a real interesting type of direction here. You're looking at that. You can line on that and set your compass, and then you can turn around and you look in the other direction. You use landmarks to help you find that. You're going to be going in about to that general direction. Here's true north, so you have to adjust that a little bit. You're going to be at about 350 degrees. Here, you go over here, you're going to be at about 10 degrees, just past north, going to, and that's Devil's Tower. If you're walking another direction and you get yourself set up, you get that set and get it organized, putting red in the shed again, you're going to be going at about 220 degrees, walking towards that pond right there. Obviously, the other thing that is available is GPS, which you can use. They are very effective, will give you general direction, have all that information on there. Only thing to remember That is, if you have bad cloud cover or no signal, you won't be able to use that. A couple great programs are OnX. The website's listed there, www.onxmaps.com. Go ahead and look on that website. It's a really, really fun one. It's easy to use. Another one that is available is HuntStand. They're really easy to use. They give you all the information that you need. Public lands, rivers, streams, hunting access, all of those different options are there for you already. Just wanted to give you some things to look at in regards to map reading. We will be sharing another lesson later. So have a good day, stay safe, and make sure that you're getting outside and enjoying the outdoors and learning something. So have a great day.